Hi everyone, so my name is Marianne. I'm the owner and the counsellor at Marianne Hanson Counselling Service, where I work with couples, I work with individuals, and I specialise in the areas of stress, depression, low self-esteem and relationships. And this is something which I feel is, I don't think this sort of topic comes up quite a lot. There's lots of topics on disconnecting from toxic family members. There's lots of videos about getting on with siblings and that sort of thing. But I don't think I've seen many videos that talk about reconnecting with family. And I feel as a counsellor, but also just in general, we can go through periods of time in our life, especially if we're from big families, where we disconnect. And all that means is that we lose the closeness that we once had with each other, where we are not in sync for whatever reason. Things can happen in families, and I think it's so important to acknowledge that that's the reality, but it doesn't have to be the end of the story. So there's lots of reasons that you can disconnect with people. You may have lost contact or stopped speaking to certain members of your family. It can be difficult to reconnect due to stubbornness, due to fear of, what if I reach out and then that person rejects me? I've been in situations where I've had at various times throughout my life fallings out with members of my family because of mostly misunderstanding. When I got to the point where I recognised that we are all different, we're all different personalities, but we're still family. I think when I reached, it was like a light bulb moment. It was, no matter what, this is still my family. We're connected by blood. And regardless of whether we fall out and stuff, my thoughts were that I don't want to get to a point where I have to keep going through periods of time not speaking to people. And I'm not going to pretend that everything's rosy, because nothing ever is in every family. But I think sometimes you have to think of how you can reconnect. Now, for me, sometimes it's about just forgiveness, forgiving that person, not waiting for an apology. And maybe you're not back to where you were with that person, but you've mentally forgiven them. And if they were to kind of reconnect with you, you'd be okay with it. Larger families, it can just feel difficult to connect with everyone because there's so many of you. And I think in every large family, where there's 5 or more, or even some people would call 4 a big family, but definitely 9 or 10 individuals, and then you've got all their children, and then you've got, in some families it becomes so big that trying to connect individually with every single person and trying to maintain that can be virtually impossible. So you shouldn't even attempt to do that as well. Other things that can cause disconnect: sibling rivalry, lack of consistent parenting, as I've said, different personalities. So there are all things that can cause disconnect. So here are 4 tips that I'm going to give you which can reconnect with your family if you're in those situations. The first one is find the things you have in common. Instead of worrying about all the things that you don't have in common. I've worked with people when I've been counselling where they've said, I just don't feel like I fit in. I just feel like me and my sister or me and my brother, we don't have anything in common. Instead of focusing on the things that you don't have in common, try to think about one thing that you do maybe have in common. Everyone loves to eat, for example. So try to think about, okay, are there foods that you will both enjoy? Music, everyone's into some sort of music. So try and figure out, try to focus on what you have in common. The second one is try to find activities or other ways that you can feel closer to your family. Recently, I've started doing competitions and quizzes. I've done a family quiz years ago, and I love quizzes. I've actually started quiz nights before when I was a member of a meetup group. I planned it all. I organised it. People paid money to come to these nights. It was games night, actually. There was different games. I went all out. I went to Amazon, bought buzzers and things, created all the imagery, and it was just a really good night. Everyone loved it. They said to me they'd want to continue to do it. You can find something that you can do as a member of your family that maybe you might be the person who organises a family reunion. You might be the one in the family that organises a family holiday. Something you can do that is regular, consistent, either a yearly event, really connects the family. So my idea of doing a quiz or games or competition, I've said I'm going to do it at Christmas, Easter, and in the summer, and I'll commit to that. I'll commit to it for a while. I'm thinking of different events, and it's just a way of us coming together as a family. The third one is to try to accept the differences in each of us personalities instead of trying to change the person. The amount of times people will say, if only she did this, or I don't know why he always has to do this, or I don't know why they can't be more like this person. It's not your job to change someone if that's their personality, and that's will keep you stuck if you're trying to do that. The minute I decided that this is my sister or brother's personality or my mum's personality or this is who they are, and I respected that, I don't have to accept some of the behaviours from certain people, but I need to accept that that's their personality. It's like the burden is lifted. I'm not trying to get that person to change anymore. I'm just accepting who they are and I'm meeting them where they're at. So the fourth one is to make more of an effort. If you shift your energy in a particular way, it just changes everything. There's a lot of things I've done differently as a human being because I'm on a personal development journey, which I'll continue for the rest of my life. Because I feel as a counsellor, there's no point in being a therapist and then outside of therapy you're a completely different person. Because I respect and love my family and care about my family, there's so much things that I feel it's worth doing. And one of those things is making an effort, shifting my energy towards people, not assuming things, not trying to change people. And I think we can all make little changes. So overall, have a think and reflect on what you can do as an individual within your family unit. Think about if there are splits within the family, how you can reconnect, and also consider why those splits are there in the first place. So I hope you found this video useful. If you have, feel free to leave your comments. Don't forget to share this, other people might find it useful. And please give me a like if you enjoy the video and consider subscribing. Take care and thanks for watching. Bye.